We don't know who they are, do you? You know who they are. Okay, I was going to say.
They're Pittsburghers.
Yeah. That's Bobby C. Not Angela.
Bobby C. All right.
There's a lot of weird things in it.
It'll be fun to talk about. We can squeeze an hour out of it. There we are. I jump over to YouTube, monitor that. So we got to remember, if we have people on, like if people are on the thing, we should say hi to them.
Right.
I the last like 2 weeks, I keep forgetting to shout out the folks. Chick, 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 chick. There's like a ring to that. One ringy dingy. Same old shitty romance. How do you meet people, you know? Like, I mean, you know Josh, but like, how do you meet people now? You know? I'd like to
I still do the old-fashioned
I'd like to
way.
be like dating like a whole bunch of girls, but like I don't know how to meet anybody.
Oh, well.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like you can't. No one. You know,
A lot
you
of
gotta
the-
go sit 6 feet apart.
A lot of the guys I've met in my past were Facebook.
Oh, because that worked out so well.
Yeah, no, it never works out, but if I want to go on a date and get a free dinner,
I don't want to give out free dinners. I want to get free.
well, that comes with the territory.
That comes with. Not always. These bitches use you for a free dinner, and then it's like, see, you wouldn't want to be. I'm like, what? That's called
Yeah,
bullshit.
you can't really go out and meet people in bars right now. Westmoreland County's shutting down for 2 weeks, too.
Check. I know. I don't want to get into it. We know why, because it's all shenanigans. All right, do we have Keith yet? We don't know Keith?
Not yet.
Keith, come to us, Keith. All right, the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus is getting started here in a second. So we're going to be talking about 10 oddball rock genres you probably never heard of.
Or maybe you have.
Maybe you have. Probably. That's what I use the word probably. Probably.
I haven't heard of the ones I wrote. Let's put it that way.
And I think we have the Hawkmeister coming on right about now.
There were some on the list that I definitely knew, but then there were some I'm like, what?
We have Sideways, Keith.
Oh.
You're Sideways. There's Mr. Sideways. He's
What about
Mr.
now?
Sideways. You're just fantastic now. You're so good, I don't even know what to do with myself. You're like grooving.
Emma's thing.
All right. So we're going to be talking about these oddball rock genres. Everybody got their notes? Everybody cool? I'm going to go ahead and get the thing started. If you guys are all right.
Yeah, man. Please roll. Please roll.
Please roll. Please roll.
Yeah.
All right, please rolls. This is for all you roll pleasers out there. Check. Okay, here we go. I hope. This week on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, we're going to discuss 10 ultra niche rock genres that you probably never heard of. Stick around. You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time. Everybody, moms and dads, boys and girls, grandmas and grandpas, children of all ages. Welcome to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. And we're talking about rock genres that are like wackadoo. Got crazy names. We're going to have some fun with this tonight. Just a chilled out night. It's hot as all... I mean, it's hot as balls out. I'm sure Keith has got a heat wave. He's always got a heat wave down there in New Orleans. Here in Pennsylvania, though, huh, Lily?
If I had balls, they'd be gone.
Yeah, it's been like, we got a little rain today, man, but it's basically been about a week straight of like over 90, sun beating down on you. And I had 4 days with no AC. And so now I'm ready to frickin' party.
No, it's just for days here. It just rains.
Really?
It rains all day. I mean, it don't even stop. You can't even see the sun. Ever.
Wow. Well, the New Orleans and Pittsburgh must have
that won't last, though, I'm sure.
Anyways, guys, the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. If you'd like to get more information on what we're doing and meet all the cool folks that are involved with us, you want to go to LouLombardiRocks.com. There's an awesome community there. It's online. It's basically a Facebook group, but you get all kind of extras and goodies and things like that. So go to LouLombardiRocks.com for more info on that. I'd like to give a shout out to a few folks that help us out each week. Shout out to Rock Rage Radio, rockrageradio.com. That is the place online for great guitar-driven rock 24/7 and lots of awesome programs. And what you got to do, Lil, next week is we got to get a list of some of the shows on there and give shout-outs.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can shout, because they have some, because we aren't the only sort of talk type show on there that plays music and promotes great rock. So, but check them out, rockrageradio.com. Download the app. You can listen constantly. It's like, the greatest ever, totally free. And speaking of the greatest ever, Keith can testify to this. Chris Thunder Wolf Dotson at wolfscustoms.online can put custom designs on your musical instrument.
They put the finish on everything. It's like Frank's Red Hot Sauce. I put that blank on everything, and then Wolf can do it too.
That's right, man. So you want to go to wolfscustoms.online. Chris Thunderwolf Dodson's been a big supporter of the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus for a long time now. We love you, Chris. Thank you so much for all your love and support. And check these guys out. If you play music, no sense getting on stage with like a boring old guitar or bass or drum set or whatever. Chris can hook you up. They do awesome stuff. Right now I've got some pics with his what do they call that?
Holoflash.
Holoflash. With
Holoflash.
the Holoflash. It's very, very cool. And what's cool about these pics, too, is like if you drop them, you can easily find them. And you guitar players out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's nothing worse than being on a stage, you drop your pick, and you look down, what the hell is that pick?
You got some crazy people trying to grab them.
So anyways, so check it out at wolfscustoms.online. We have a full band in the house tonight. The Power Trio. Lily V6, what's up, Lil?
What's up? Vacay, back from vacay.
Just vacay. You did a little Putin Bay.
Did a little Putin Bay.
Putin Bay. And with the male attaché.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Is he your boyfriend, or is he just a boy?
Oh my God! Why?
Boy who's a friend.
Why are we even talking about this on Facebook?
I'm lost. What happened to going with the L? I'm lost, man. I don't know what's going on here.
Okay, we'll save that for the after show. Anyways, Lily's back from Putin. Putin. That's so funny.
It's Putin Bay.
Putin. Yeah, you don't put it in the bay.
I did put it in the bay.
That's what I heard.
A couple times.
Nice.
Actually, it'll be called if Trump gets reelected, it'll be called Putin Bay after that.
And Keith the Hawk Hawkins, the smart ass from New Orleans. What's up, big guy?
As always, I'm here ready to talk about genres. We're going to talk about hardcore. We're going to talk about softcore. We're going to talk about grindcore. Wait, what the hell am I talking about? We're going to talk about music and different genres. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, guys. So stick around. Some of these genres have some really funny names, really interesting backstories, so we're going to be getting into it. I got a whole new cast of characters again for you guys this week. We've got Clover Hill, not Cloverfield, Clover Hill, Pharmacy, and Power Tribe. So it's going to be a great show. Let's start out with a little Clover Hill. We're going to come right back on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Stick around.
Listen, just so listen.
UK. That is Clover Hill from Nelson, UK. I don't know where that is, but I hear that Nelson this time of year is a swinging place, and you want to check it out. Okay,
Right.
we're back to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. So we're going to be talking about oddball or wacky or super niche rock genres, and I think Keith is chomping at the bit. So we're going to start with the Hawkmeister. What you got on your list? What's the first one we want to talk about?
I don't know. Remember back in the day, like bands would come around and you'd be like, what is that sound? What does that sound like? And they were like, oh, it's an alternative rock. That was like a subgenre for years. No one can identify certain bands. Oh, let's just call them alternative rock. Now you got so many that it's ridiculous. I'm going to start out with a little bit of what I like to call cowpunk, if you will. So we got cowpunk on the list, and it actually started in the late 70s in the UK and then kind of trickled over to the States and started some trending bands over in Southern California in the 80s. It's a mix of punk, country, blues, and folk. And some bands that really kind of pioneered the cowpunk sound are the Blasters and the Beatformers. So if you know those bands, you were listening to cowpunk from all reports. There you go. Some bands that they've influenced were popular. I was trying to keep it like some of the influences and some of the like pioneers of this. Some bands that were listed that were following this kind of sound were at least influenced by the Violent Femmes, where we all know them. The Meat Puppets, bands like that. So that's kind of where we're going with it. It's, like I said, it's a nice little mixture of punk, country, blues, and folk, and whatever else you want to throw in the blender.
Some of the bands that you guys might know would be Jason and the Scorchers, as well as Let's Active, Gun Club. I was into cowpunk. So I have a thing. And Katie Lang, before she came to the United States and got signed to a major label, she was a purveyor of cowpunk as well. So good pick there, a little cowpunk. Some bands that came later. I mean, these guys are the cowpunk thing. Also, sort of like started the alt country sound. So bands like the Drive By Truckers are we wouldn't have them. Sun Volt. Uncle Tupelo and those type of bands
definitely relate to.
Yeah, definitely come out of that. That influence of punk rock, or rather punk rock and country, respectively. I mean, there's other little things kind of thrown in there, but they definitely have that cool mix of those two genres. And why not, right, Keith?
Right on.
What about you, Lil? What do you got?
So when I was looking through the list, and I'm probably going to say this wrong because I don't know how to say it, so I'm going to say it like it's called Zool, like Ghostbusters Zool. But
how is it spelled?
It's Zeuhl.
Zeuhl.
And that's probably wrong because it's French, but it's a style of progressive rock that originated in France. What they say is it's what you would expect an alien rock opera to sound like. And it does sound like an alien rock opera. I was listening to some of the stuff. It's got like chanting and repetitive percussion, a lot of trance kind of stuff. So it's sort of, it's not something I would listen to normally. Let's put it that way. It's created by a guy named Christian Vander from the band Magma. So that's one of the prominent bands of the genre. And it's, it was originally applied to that band, but then it was used to describe similar music created by French bands in the 1970s. So they came out in the 70s, and the bands are Magma, Ruins, Guapo, and Happy Family. Happy Family is like reminds me of a dish on like a Chinese restaurant, because that's one of the dishes there.
A lot of these bands from this genre I'm going to name are bands that they're actually pretty famous. You know them, but they fall into this this is a name I think that people just started giving. Sometimes I think that because we're trying to classify things, and human beings love to take stuff and classify them. This is right? Isn't that kind of how our brains work?
Yeah,
So we couldn't just call bands like Cheap Trick and the Knack and Badfinger rock bands or pop rock bands. No. This is its own subgenre, and it's a subgenre that has a long history. Some people credit the Beatles with this starting this subgenre. I don't know how you can have a subgenre with the Beatles, because the Beatles like started everything. So
Right.
to me, it's a kind of like, conundrum or contradiction there. But this genre is called power pop, and it's sort of a more aggressive, more guitar-driven, little edgier version of pop rock. So, as I mentioned, some of the bands that would be there. An essential feature of power pop is its happy-sounding arrangements, supported by a sense of yearning, longing, and despair, similar to formative works by such as "Wouldn't It Be Nice" by the Beach Boys, or "Pictures of Lily" by the Who.
That's a great song.
It's a great song. And some of the bands that, like I mentioned, the Beatles as a kind of, because of some of their music. But let me put some other bands to help you put it in perspective a little bit more. Bands like Big Star, which were really, really influential band, would probably fall into that. The Raspberries, and I already mentioned the Knack and Cheap Trick. So it's just sort of like more, slightly more serious form of pop rock that's just got like a little bit more of an edge, a little more of an emotional edge as well to it, and it has never gone away. Power pop seems to like kind of always resurface. In the 80s and 90s, the bands like Teenage Fan Club, bands like that were kind of prepared. Matthew Sweet is considered power pop as well. Through the 2000s, you had bands, even Green Day and Weezer have dipped their toes into power. Weezer especially have dipped their toes into the power pop thing. So, just a kind of oddball subgenre of pop rock called power pop. And so, you probably, I don't know if you feel dumber or smarter after learning that. Well, just a little useless trivia for you. So next time you're listening and Matthew Sweet comes on, you can impress your friends with your knowledge of power pop.
Nice.
So,
Damn right.
what do you got, Keith?
Well, for all you core folks out there, we're going to go with Sadcore. Sadcore was nothing I've ever heard of before. Like I said, this is more just, it's just a fun thing. It's a fun topic. I mean, at the end of the day, there's too many of these things, but we're going to talk about as many as we can. But from the description of this, which I've never really heard of any of these bands, but Sadcore is basically a subgenre of music with bleak lyrics and somber moods. And it came around in the mid-'80s, started in the UK, it kind of got its way into the US. Arab Strap is a band that I was using as an example, who I've never heard of. They're from Scotland, and their music was described as a wintry day in Scotland, dark and rainy. So that's Arab Strap is the one of the bands that's Sadcore. So if you want to listen to any Sadcore, go look up some Arab Strap. I don't know if they're still around, but you can find them somewhere.
Nice.
Probably in a bargain bin near you.
Goodwill.
Nice. So what do you got, Lily?
Here's one that I didn't know existed, but it's stuff I listened to. So this is called Gothabilly. And I had to read what it was to know what it was, but it's sometimes also called Hellbilly. It's an offshoot of Psychobilly that is influenced by the goth subculture. And it was, like I said, it was the one I was most interested in. It was first used by the Cramps in the 70s. So that's what they were considered when they first came out. It's the somber sounds. It's similar to Sadcore, but not. It's a little more, I hate to say upbeat, but it is. And then I liked it also because they combined the goth fashion into their stage presence, so that's also where the goth comes from, and that's, the black lace satin leather corsets, the whole thing. It wasn't even popular, though, until the mid-1990s, after there was a compilation album released by Scully Records, and it's still heavily active in the western part of the U.S., so like California, Seattle, that sort of area, but the most notable bands are the Cramps, Creepshow, Ghoultown, Coffin Cats, and Vampire Beach Babes.
Vampire Beach Babes.
Yes.
Wow.
Which is all stuff I like. So there
That's
it
a
is.
hit name.
I didn't know that was an actual the genre name. I called it goth rock, but that guess I'm wrong. So
Yeah, then that's a whole other. And I've heard of the Cramps before. Other bands, I'm like head scratching, like, have I ever heard that before? So it's at least I know what the hell I'm listening to when I hear it.
right.
I think that this next genre is completely made up,
Oh my god.
but just because somebody wanted to make a Wikipedia page. But this is a genre called Crust Punk, also known as crust or stenchcore. It's a form of music influenced by English punk rock and extreme metal. The style, which evolved in the 80s in England, often has songs with dark, pessimistic lyrics that linger on political and social ills. The term crust was coined by Hellbastard on their 1986 Ripper Crust demo. Crust is partially defined by its bassy and dirty sound. It's often played at a fast tempo, imagine that. Occasional slow sections. Vocals are usually harsh and maybe grunted, growled, screamed. Crust Punk takes cues from anarcho-punk of Crass, the anarcho-punk of Crass and Discharge, and the heavy metal bands like Venom, Trouble, Hellhammer, Celtic Frost, Black Sabbath, Motorhead. While the term was first associated with Hellbastard, Ambiex have been described as the originators of the style, along with Discharge and Antisect. Those are some great names.
They are great names.
Discharge.
Wait to hear the names of the next band I talk about, or the next genre I talk about.
So, guys, there you have it. Crust Punk.
I don't believe that is a thing.
You don't think that's a thing?
Well, maybe.
We did a thing on these like sort of wacky metal
The band names.
metal genres about a year ago.
Yeah.
But this is
This is a whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was a whole thing until I started reading into it.
The lyrical content of Crust Punk tends to be bleak and nihilistic, yet politically engaged. Crust Punk songs are often about nuclear war, materialism, animal rights, police, personal grievances, oppressive states, and fascism. Boy, this should be the music that's popular right now.
Right. And it probably is somewhere.
Right now, somebody just started a Crust Punk radio station on the internet. You know they have. So you can check it out. All right, Crust. For all you crusty MFers out there. But Keith's not crusty.
Me? No. Well, it's enough of this down, heavy, just depressing lyrics. We're going to stay heavy, but we're going to go with, you've heard of black metal, we're going to go with unblack metal. This has nothing to do with race. This is about a Christian death metal band. So they're using the same death metal rules. Most of them you probably can't understand a word they're saying, but instead of talking about all the death and destruction, they're talking about Jesus, God, positive things, man. Positive things. Bands like Horde. I think there was another one, Antister, I think, with the name of the album was funny. The Defeat of Satan was the name of the album. So if you ever look up the Defeat of Satan, you know they might be opening for Striper on our next tour. You never know. It's a disputed origin. I really don't know where it came from. Probably somewhere in Europe. Who knows? Or some basement in California. I have no idea.
There's actually an argument on how it started, is what I was reading.
Yeah, the only thing I've seen that said disputed origin, so I won't even.
Yeah. Because they say, like, Horde came up with it while Antester came up with it, but nobody wants to take credit for it, so.
That's really it. It's like, there's so many, like, these bands listed. I just try to name the first couple bands that popped up on the page, so. But it's Christian black metal. So, it's all against Satan, totally the opposite of what you're used to hearing in the death metal genre. Actually, if you're a death metal fan, you probably won't like it anyway, but there's some people out there that still want to hang on to those religious beliefs and listen to a little crazy music. They got on black metal, so there you go.
There's a genre for everyone.
That's it.
What do you got, Lily?
The next one on my list is
Hold that. We're going to play another song. It's almost 9:30.
I didn't even get to say it.
So you have to wait. If you want to know, the next person on my list is, we don't know. Because we're going to listen to some Pharmacy, and this is Pharmacy with an F, not a PH. The Silver Valley Wolfman on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. That's a really fun groove. It's a band called Pharmacy with an F. So let's real quick. We started out the show with Clover Hill. You can go to cloverhill.bandcamp.com, and that was a little Pharmacy with an F. Pharmacyband.com. So go check those guys out. Support them if you like it. All right, so Lily, she was about to mention an awesome genre of rock, and I cut her off at the last second there, just to build the suspense. So what do you got?
Porno grind.
What?
Also porno gore. You knew this was going to be on my list. This is an offshoot of gore grind. The lyrics deal with sexual and pornographic themes, obviously. They're simple, slow, rock-like. Their themes keep the albums out of most stores because they're graphic. Rolling Stone actually described it as gore grind with an over-the-top juvenile obsession with sex and violence. I don't see the problem with that, but whatever. They did have some controversy in 2019.
Keith gave it a look.
They did have controversy in 2019 with the Dayton shooting due to Connor Betts, the shooter himself, performing live with one of the band's own vocals. And it was linked to the shooting, causing some of the bands to go on a hiatus or quit the genre. Even after they stated they don't approve of real-life violence. This is all just for show. So it's
just fun violence.
It's fun violence. And some of the notable artists are Gut, Cock and Ball Torture, and Menstrual Munchies. You're welcome.
So, Lou, see, that's the problem, Lou. If you're looking for a band name, you're looking for stuff that's way too simple. You want to dig deep, man, you got to dig into the porno grind bin and get some of that shit going.
Apparently, Keith. Apparently.
You guys aren't doing anything gross enough.
Well, we are. We are right now calling ourselves Smooth Gooch. So that's about as porno grind as we get.
It's tame, buddy. It's
tame. I know. Weak and ineffectual. I'm so ashamed. You know.
Well, we all knew that was going to end up on my list.
I feel like Sylvester's nephew. If I don't know if anybody gets that reference. Okay, here's one. And the reason I picked this genre is because there's a Pittsburgh band that's in this genre that I've seen that is very, very good.
I know what you're
This
picking.
is a band. This is a genre called pirate metal.
Oh.
Even pirates like heavy metal. If Captain Jack Sparrow started wearing leather jackets and playing the electric guitar, you might end up with something a little like pirate metal. Pirate metal songs tend to be sea shanties sung or shrieked in the style of heavy metal, but accompanied by folk instruments like the concertina. Excuse me.
I liked your way better.
And they can do, it's just good rock and roll. Some of the bands include the Dread Crew of Oddwood, Running Wild, and Ailstorm.
Ailstorm's great.
As well as Pittsburgh's own Bloody Seamen.
That's right.
Yep, great band. I had them on the podcast many years ago. So if you've not seen they don't play a lot.
No,
well, nobody plays a lot now, but yeah.
It's a couple times a year they'll play, and it's usually around St. Patty's Day, that sort of thing, that they do stuff. But this is a fun genre. I love going out and listening to them and drinking and having a good time. They're fun. They're just it's a good time. It's a good time, that kind of genre.
So if you're into pirates and and maybe this is the kind of music like you've seen the Pirates of the Caribbean like a million times, right? You know the dialogue. So what you do is maybe you do like a Captain Jack Sparrow party, and you put the movies on with the sound down, but you play a whole bunch of pirate metal.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That could be like a whole thing, and then like anytime like something happens in one of these movies, what happens all the time?
Well, you'd have to have the sound on for anything to happen. I don't know.
Anytime
he says the rum all the time.
Anytime Jack Sparrow falls
makes
down,
that face. He does do a weird face.
Makes the face. Everybody has to do a shot.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
That's so that's the kind of thing you can do with pirate metal. Super fun, upbeat, not no killing of anything or protesting anything. Fun.
It's good times.
Think fun. It's good times. Look, Keith, what do you got?
Here's a question first.
Oh,
what would you consider a band like the Steven Seagulls? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I love
they do
that
metal
band.
covers, but they do like more like bluegrass. I mean, is that bluegrass? But they're doing metal covers. But it's got to be. They might have their own genre. Who knows?
They probably do have their own.
Isn't that like? Isn't there's a?
They're great. They're great. They're killer players.
There's a genre of
there's got to be a genre somewhere
of country music called what's it called? Horror bluegrass or something like that. Somebody Google. Somebody look
There's
that
horror
up.
country.
Maybe it's
There's horror country, which I was going to put on my list, but I don't know any damn bands. But it's just a bunch of country guys that sing about.
Yeah, I love the Steven Seagulls. Yeah, I don't know what you call that. So why don't we look that up and we'll see if they have a genre. Steven Seagulls. So what do you got, Keith?
We're going to go back to jolly old England, and this is more of a kind of a cross thing between music and clothing. We're going to say Baggy. I never was familiar with what Baggy was, and most of these I picked because I never figured out what the hell they were. Never heard of them anyway. Baggy started in Manchester, UK. It's kind of a mix between acid house, psychedelia, with funky beats, guitar-driven. I guess a band that you could put on that radar would be the Stone Roses, but I don't really know if the Stone Roses are that kind of sound. Their fans and the way the bands that play this music all wore baggy clothes. That's where they got the name from. So, and I'm not really sure the where it started either. Just, that started in the UK. I don't know the decade or anything, but probably in the 90s, I would assume, but I don't know. So Baggy is a kind of a cross between the music and the clothing that the bands and the fans adopted, wearing baggy clothes. So Baggy is one for whoever knows any Baggy out there. Give me some bands because I don't know what the hell they are.
I want to join a Baggy band.
That just sounds awful. I can't.
Baggy.
Steven Seagulls consider themselves bluegrass / rockabilly. Grassabilly.
I don't know.
There's Newgrass.
Yeah. Have you ever heard them, Lily?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've played them for me before. Yeah, for sure. Me next? Me go?
Me go, let me go, please.
All right.
I want to go.
Today is the first time I've heard of this. It's Nintendocore. I don't know why this is the first I should have heard of this, because my ex-husband used to listen to stuff like this all the time. So I should have already known what this was. But it fuses chiptune and video game music with modern punk, heavy metal, and rock. It uses the electric guitars, drum kits, synthesizers. And it started in 1978 with Yellow Magic Orchestra when they sampled Space Invaders sounds into their song called Computer Game. Nintendocore bands have been influenced by metalcore, electro, noise rock, and screamo, among many others. But some bands do feature singing and various forms of ethereal screaming vocals, and lyrics often mirror video game storylines. So, I guess Pac-Man Fever is a thing, and I have that on vinyl up at the house. And I didn't know that would considered Nintendocore.
Wow.
But notable artists include The Advantage, Horse the Band, Math the Band, Mini Bosses, the Any Eskimos, and I Fight Dragons. So,
wow.
Yeah.
The Advantage was an instrumental band, actually. It did all that stuff, just all video game music.
Yeah. What a way to, make money, man. It'd be easy, I would think. Sounds.
Everything's easy until you try to do it.
Legit.
This is something I've learned. There's so many things I thought, oh, man, this could be easy. No. The easy did not happen at all. So this next genre is called Celtic folk metal.
It already sounds awesome.
And let me go ahead and Celtic folk metal or Celtic metal. Bands that are basically got the whole it's kind of like Lord of the Rings set to metal. Just imagine that's
my next one.
That sort of thing. But the artist, there's an indie artist who you may have seen. She does a lot of Facebook advertising, so you may have run across her. She calls herself Leah. She's Canadian, and she's always pictured, on some cliff with a sword and everything, and that is really her
female Dio.
Yes, kind of. It's it's exactly what it sounds.
I could seriously get into that.
What the name sounds like. Skyclad or consider the first Celtic folk. Celtic folk is a subgenre of folk metal. This has more to do with it's a little more Celtic. What was her name? McKennet, Irene McKennet.
I know you're
You know what I'm talking about?
One hit.
McKenna. I'm sorry. We'll
Yeah,
look
she had
that.
like one hit tune back in the day.
Yeah. So this is kind of like more of that with metal, kind of a sound to it.
Yeah.
Check out. All I can do. The person I know who like I feel their music is like just nails it is this Leah. So go ahead and just check out. Just Google Leah Celtic folk metal and you'll hear it. But it's very interesting stuff. She gets great players to play on her albums all the time. She gets the guys from Opeth and those guys will play on her records and stuff like that. So it's very good, very high quality stuff. So if you like that sort of thing and you're into the whole wizards and dragons and that sort of thing, that is what it's all about. Celtic folk metal. What do you got next, Keith?
Well, to stay with that whole theme, we got a Wizard Rock. There's Wizard Rock, too, for anybody out there that wants to rock with their wizard out. So
Ooh.
it's looks like it's humorously set tunes to the Harry Potter universe. So if you're into Harry Potter, you want to check out some Wizard Rock, because if you can't go wrong with any Wizard Rock if you like Harry Potter. Bands that are in this genre are Harry and the Potters. What an original name for that genre. That's
Good
awesome.
stuff.
and Drago and the Malfoys or whatever. Some I can't read my own
Yeah,
writing.
it's Draco and the Malfoys.
Yeah, there's a whole freaking list of bands I can't pronounce, and they often come out into and the fans too, where they have festivals and they all dress up in costumes. I'm sure there's a lot of LARPing going on, and there's a lot of probably parents picking up their 45-year-old son in the parking lot about 9:30. So that's kind of how that goes. So when that festival's over, I'm sure that these people don't see each other for a long time. And I would assume that most of these festivals are probably attended by males, with not a female in sight. I would probably think there's scattered. There's probably more chicks at a Rush concert than there would be at these festivals.
Actually, you'd be surprised how many females go to those like Renaissance festivals and stuff.
Ren Fair. Well, that's
Quite
where
honestly.
Leah would play. She'd play a Ren Fair. I want to give a shout out to Beth, who's watching us on YouTube. Thank you, Beth. We love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hope you're enjoying. Is there a weird genre you like? Type it in. We'll mention it. So what do you got, Lily?
Next on my list is Vegan Straight Edge. Again, another one I've heard for the first time today.
Make it up.
I wish I was. It emphasizes on animal rights and abstinence from drug use and extramarital sex, which I don't even know how to say it because I don't even know what that is. The music styles differ from band to band. It was originally founded as an offset to hardcore punk, but some of it sounds like it could fall under other subgenres such as pirate metal, and they've also expanded to Christian rappers. So it's just the theme. It's relating to the theme, I suppose. So Earth Crisis and Vegan Reich are two of the bands that are notable for this thing.
Wow.
No, I've heard of Birth Crisis before, so now I know what I'm listening to. Not that I'll listen to them anytime soon, but I'll know next time I come around to some Earth Crisis, I'll know what the hell it is.
You know what you're listening to.
What about a type of indie rock that focuses on, or even indie metal that focuses on odd time signatures, complex rhythms, lots of key changes?
Like Degent or whatever it's called?
How about something I like to call... No, I don't like to call it anything. I'm just reading this. I like to call math rock or math metal.
Oh, yeah.
Merged in the 1980s before peaking in the mid-1990s. Similar uses of non-standard time signatures and variable meters are now being adapted to pop music called math pop. And some of the bands that you might know in math rock or math in these math genres. Atlas a song is Atlas by the by Battles. Excuse me. I cannot talk. I have a podcast and I cannot talk. And that's like a horror novel by who wrote that novel? I have no mouth and I must scream. I forget who wrote that. That's what I feel like right now. Oxes is another band, and Slynt. That sounds vaguely pornographic.
It does, because you know what I want to say. My mind goes right there.
Words that like sounds what? What are they talking about? Slynt.
Math rock makes me not want to listen to it just because it says math. and I don't like
I would imagine that these guys are probably a lot of these guys are music school students.
Yeah, probably. And a friend of mine, actually, just dude Joe that I know, he was arrested one time for selling Slynt out of the back of his car. So that's kind of something you have to watch, because when you do too much Slynt, you will pay the price. So don't Slynt and drive.
Slynt is bad. You shouldn't do Slynt.
It's Bad News Bears.
Wow. Let's play another band. Speaking of Bad News Bears, we're going to play one more band. Then we're going to come back and finish.
Okay.
Okay, because we're having too much fun. This is Prepare for Battle by Power Tribe. Check these guys out. I was telling Lily about this band before Keith came on. Power Tribe, Prepare for Battle on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
We secure our place in this kingdom of killers. To protect the babes that will soon become soldiers, building an army of battlefield terror. This empire held by fearlessness unmeasured. Fulfill whatever it takes.
Wow. Power Tribe, everybody.
Man, that is some
No kidding.
crazy stuff, man.
That is off the freaking hook, man. PowerTribeBand.com. Check them out. They're Power Trio. Three folks, yes. A nice young lady plays bass and sings.
Definitely power.
Yeah.
There's definitely power there.
Got a lot of power. They got all kind of power.
Power.
They're pretty powerful.
Are they European?
I don't know. I couldn't get
They
this.
should, where they should be.
I'll double check the site and everything. We are going to wrap up with just a couple more because it's almost time to go. I'm so glad we had this time together.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so who was speaking?
I don't even know now. I don't even know what the last one was.
Oh, I'll tell you what the last one was. The last one was Math
that was
Rock.
you.
So it was me. So it's
That was
Keith.
the Keith.
Well, I don't even have any more left. I'll just pull one out of my rectum. I have
There's the type of music, rectum music,
Rectum Rock.
rectum music.
rectum rock.
This one is short and sweet. It's Wagnerian. That's what I would think how you would pronounce
Wow.
it. Wagnerian music would be a mix of 20th century rock with 19th century opera.
Nice.
But a good example of that would be Jim Steinman described that Bat Out of Hell Meatloaf album as that particular genre. So there you go. It's
There's the thing.
Wagnerian. So if you're looking at half-price books for that on vinyl and they don't have the Wagnerian section, go and tell them to get some Wagnerian in or you're out of there.
Or you quit.
If you don't have Mojo Nixon, your store could use some fixing.
But wait a minute. Just to clarify, Mojo Nixon is not Wagnerian.
That was a
He's
line from a song.
Okay, because he's now. If you don't know who Mojo Nixon is, you could put Mojo Nixon kind of in the cowpunkish, right? Kind
Yeah,
of.
there was a band. There was a band called the Dead Milkmen back in the '80s, I think, and they had a song called "Punk Rock Girl," and that was a line out of it that I always thought it was funny.
Do you know Mojo Nixon? Are you familiar with Mojo Nixon's music?
Nah, I know from now. He's obviously, for me, he's famous because of that freaking song.
Yeah. Well, Chet, when you get a chance, listen to the song "Elvis Is Everywhere" by Mojo Nixon and Skid Roper. That was like their
Skid
big
Row?
hit. Yeah.
Roper.
Yeah, Skid Roper. Mojo Nixon and Skid Roper. Okay. So, Wagnerian. Go ahead. What do you got?
That's what I'll call some opera and some rock, and there you go.
Rock,
Some Wagnerian. Don't think Mojo Nixon's a Wagnerian band because he's not. You understand?
Just want to make sure everybody's clear on that.
The last
These
one.
are the Dead Milkmen.
No, none of that. The last one on my list is Bandana Thrash.
What?
I'm not making this up.
I'll see that.
Movement within thrashcore and associated with power violence, the fast subgenres of hardcore punk. The term is in reference to the headgear preferred by the performers. So basically, they wear a bandana. The themes include street life, anti-consumerism, and worldwide unity. The style started in the late 1990s and was prominent into the early to mid 2000s. The bands are Limp Wrist, Vitamin X, I always say this wrong, Vivisic, and What Happens Next. What happens next is you need to stop naming your genre after a headband.
All right, guys. We just gave you a whole bunch of genres. If you're going like, gee, I'm really bored with all the music I'm listening to. I don't know. So why don't you try some Baggy
Porno grind.
or Porno Grind? You want to put on I think you should put some Porno Grind. If you're going to get busy, you want to make a mixtape, you want to get busy with your lady, make a little Porno Grind mixtape.
That's right. And we never discriminate here at the Loudini Rock and Metal Circus. Because if you want to dig deeper and you want to just run the spectrum, there's queercore, there's Afro punk, you got it all, man. It's all kind of stuff.
I'm gonna listen to Menstrual Munchies next time I get it on. You
on
happy
that,
now?
Okay, on that happy note, you've been listening to Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. We are going to hang out in our private our closed Facebook group. You can find out more about that at LouLombardiRocks.com. We're going to continue the discussion and talk about some stuff we have, all of us have going on, some things we've been doing. Well, some more music topics. LouLombardiRocks.com. Shout out to Wolf's Customs. Again, no sense of going on stage with a musical instrument that looks like everybody else's. Talk to Chris Thunderwolf Dodson. Go to wolfscustoms.com. Get a custom finish on your guitar, bass, ukulele, swinette, whatever it is that you like to.
Whatever you play your wizard rock on.
Whenever you're playing your wizard rock or your bandana thrash.
Yes. You want to start an Amish reggae band? Get some Wolf's Customs
That could be fun.
in the reggae band and the Amish
There
band.
is a genre called German reggae. By
I
the
saw
way,
that.
yeah, I have no clue. And Rock Rage Radio, thank you guys for always carrying the show. We do appreciate that. Keith, any announcements, anything you want to mention before we wrap up for today?
I'll be back in Pittsburgh in a couple weeks. And now I heard they closed all the friggin' bars. So we're going to stay on. How big is your porch?
No, they're opening them all Friday. It was only a week closure.
They were closing them all today for 2 weeks.
That's Westmoreland County.
Oh, okay.
This is so screwy, Keith. Here, so we'll just have to play by ear. You're welcome to come and drink here. I don't care.
If worse comes to worse, we party at the Lombardi Room.
When they announced the thing back in March, this became a speakeasy, right?
Yes, this is the Lombardi Room.
For several weeks in a row.
It's still a speakeasy.
So it's all cool. I'm continuing to work with the singer Mark Shuttleworth, and we have a gig at the Harmony Inn on the 18th.
Nice.
So I just want to give you guys a shout out about that. Lily, you have your own show on Rock Rage Radio.
I do. It's called Hot Licks with Lily 6, Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, rockrageradio.com, or download the free app. I don't have any interviews this week, so it's just music. New
awesome.
music.
Is good. We are going to get out of here. Typically we've been playing 3, but we're going to play 4 tonight. Again, since my brother Keith the Hawk Hawkins is on, this is a song that he played on. This has not been released yet. It's all mixed, ready to go. Mike Ofka did a great job mixing it for us, and so it's going to come out. I'm going to try to get it out to you guys by August. With a cool lyric video and some stuff like that. So stick around, pay attention to that. But it's not anywhere we can get it. That's why I've been hesitating playing it. But screw it, we're going to play it. This is Peace in the Valley on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. We'll catch you guys all next week. LouLombardiRocks.com. Stick around, guys. If you're a member of LouLombardiRocks.com, you can hang with us. That's what we're going to be doing. We'll catch you all next week, guys. Yes, I meant Lorena McKenna. Thank you, Beth.
Through this door, I'm gonna raise you up.